As soon as I read about the 250th anniversary of the Halifax Resolve, I knew that Halifax, North Carolina was a place that we just had to visit this year. Located along the southern bank of the Roanoke River, not only did the river help establish the early settlement, it was also used for travel. And the river also allowed for seagoing ships to influence trade, even that of the slave trade. This helped Halifax grow quickly into the most important political center in the colony of North Carolina. By the mid-18th century, Halifax had become a bustling town and a meeting place for leaders, making it a vital hub for revolutionary ideas. Shortly after its establishment, Halifax constructed a jail to serve the growing community. Unfortunately, both the first and second jail were burned down by prisoners attempting to escape. So, in 1838, the people of Halifax built a fireproof jail to prevent further destruction, and this structure can still be visited even today at the Halifax State Historic Site. Halifax was also the home of 2 taverns. Today, visitors can explore the Taproom Tavern, which is full of reproduction furniture that allows guests to imagine daily life in the 18th century. Across the road stands the Eagle Tavern, a restored structure that highlights the importance of taverns during the colonial period. Taverns were more than just places for drinking. They served as essential stopping points for travelers who needed food, lodging, and rest. They also were important gathering places where political ideas were debated and discussed. Today, the Eagle Tavern serves as an interpretive historic site that helps visitors understand this early way of life. This tavern is also associated with the post-revolutionary journeys of both George Washington and the later journey of Lafayette. Notably, Lafayette's famous 1824 to 1825 tour of the United States occurred roughly 50 years after the Revolutionary War and helped reinforce national memory of independence. Among the historic buildings in Halifax is the Owens House, a mid-18th century home originally owned by a successful merchant family. During the Civil War, the house was used as a hospital. One of the important figures connected to Halifax is that of Joseph Montfort, a wealthy and influential early resident. He became the first provincial Grand Master of Freemasonry in America, appointed by the Grand Lodge of England. His legacy is preserved at the Joseph Montfort Museum, which stands over the foundation of his original home and includes archaeological exhibits that allow visitors to view the excavation site. While in Halifax, you can also visit the Burgess Law Office. The Burgess Law Office reflects Halifax's importance as a legal and political center. Built by an attorney in the years following the Revolutionary period, it stands near the former Colonial Square, once a busy marketplace and gathering place. Notably, during the Revolutionary era, the square was a place used for recruiting soldiers. One of the later structures built here is that of William R. Davie, who moved to the area following the American Revolution. He was a respected Revolutionary War officer who rose to the rank of Brigadier General. Davie later served as governor of North Carolina from 1798 to 1799. He also played a diplomatic role under President John Adams, serving as a peace commissioner to France. While in France, Davie helped negotiate the Convention of 1800, which ended the quasi-war between the United States and France. His career reflects the continued importance of North Carolina leaders in shaping both state and national history. Like many early American towns, Halifax also contained a history shaped by slavery. Rather than ignoring this part of its past, modern interpretation at the Halifax State Historic Site encourages visitors to reflect on the lives and experiences of the enslaved people who lived and worked in the community. Today, Halifax offers the Underground Railroad Trail, which allows visitors to walk through the historic landscape, to consider this difficult history while also experiencing the natural beauty of the Tar Heel State. In the early years leading up to the American Revolution, political tensions in North Carolina continued to rise. On April 19th of 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord occurred, after which historians believe North Carolina was somewhat divided into 6 political districts. North Carolina began moving towards self-governance. It was during this year that the royal governor Josiah Martin, living in the governor's palace, sent his family to New York City, while he stayed in North Carolina trying to rile up fellow Loyalist supporters until he finally fled to a Navy ship, leaving North Carolina virtually governless. North Carolina didn't stay that way for long, as a revolutionary government had begun to form, and royal authorities weakened across the colony. One of the earliest expressions of resistance was the Edison Tea Party, led by Penelope Baker and other women who pledged to boycott British goods. While they may have been influenced by the Charleston and later Boston Tea Party, Penelope Baker and her fellow women didn't hide anonymously and signed their names to the complaint. This was one of the earliest organized women-led political protests in the colonies. By May 1775, a date which is recognizable on the North Carolina flag, the Mecklenburg Resolves occurred. While there are various opinions about this resolve, it is believed that this was the first time a county stated that they were unhappy and asserted their colonial rights and rejected British authority. Some later traditions claim full independence, but historians debate that strong claim. But either way, this resolve did reflect the growing revolutionary sentiment in North Carolina. Common sense also circulated widely in the colonies and strongly influenced public opinion in favor of independence. By February of 1776, Patriot forces won a decisive victory at the Battle of Moores Creek Bridge, which helped secure the coast of North Carolina and strengthen revolutionary momentum. By this time, Halifax had already become a major political center. While the Third Provincial Congress of North Carolina saw over 200 delegates, the Fourth Provincial Congress of North Carolina, which met at Halifax, brought together 83 represented delegates. These men included leaders such as Cornelius Harnett, Samuel Johnston, Thomas Buke, and Willie Jones, all of whom played important roles in shaping the revolutionary movement. Cornelius Harnett was one of the most influential early revolutionary organizers in the colony, known for helping unify resistance against British rule and earning the reputation as a powerful political voice in the Provincial Congress. Cornelius Harnett was born on April 10, 1723, and lived until April 20th of 1781. He was an American founding father, politician, merchant, plantation owner, and slaveholder in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was a leading American revolutionary statesman in the Cape Fear region and a delegate in North Carolina in the Continental Congress of 1777 to 1779, where he signed the Articles of the Confederation. Harnet's death came after being captured. Upon their occupation of Wilmington in January of 1781, his health steadily declined while imprisoned, and he died on April 20th of 1781, shortly after being released on parole. Samuel Johnston was born December 15th, 1733, and he passed away on August 17th of 1816. Johnston was born in Scotland. He accompanied his father, Samuel Sr., to Onslow County in what was then the colonial-era province of North Carolina. Samuel Johnston could be described as an aristocrat. He was very loyal to the British in the beginning, though he had always been critical of British taxation. Samuel Johnston is known for writing the Johnston Act, which is sometimes referred to as the Riot Act of 1771. This extreme law allowed for specific protesters known as regulators who were rebelling against local officials to be shot on sight. Regardless of his own feelings, by the time the Halifax Resolve came around, he too signed for complete independence from Britain. He was an American planter, lawyer, Grand Master Freemason, slaveholder, and statesman. He represented North Carolina in both the Continental Congress and the United States Senate, and he was the 6th governor of North Carolina. Samuel Johnston was a collector of books, which he left to his son James, which are now on exhibit at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Thomas Buke was born in 1747 and died in 1783. He was an Irish physician, lawyer, and statesman who lived in Hillsborough, North Carolina. He represented North Carolina as a delegate in the Continental Congress and was the 3rd governor of the state. Buke claimed to be a practicing Roman Catholic, which would make him the first of 2 governors of North Carolina who were Catholic. Notably, after studying law in Virginia, Buke became an early supporter of the American Revolution, writing tracts in opposition of the Stamp Act. In 1774, he moved to Hillsborough, North Carolina. Buke's neighbors made him a member of the 5th North Carolina Provincial Congress that met in Halifax in 1776. He participated in the debate that led to North Carolina's new Constitution. While Buke did many other things, in 1777, while most of Congress prepared to flee Philadelphia as the British advanced, Buke instead went to join General Nash's North Carolina troops defending the city, and he was present at the Battle of Brandywine before rejoining Congress. Willie Jones was born in 1741 and died in 1801. He was an American planter and statesman from Halifax County. He represented North Carolina as a delegate in the Continental Congress of 1780. His brother was Allen Jones, who was also a delegate to Congress. In 1774, 1775, and 1776, Jones was elected to represent either the county of Halifax or the town of Halifax in the North Carolina Provincial Congress. For a brief time in 1776, as the head of the North Carolina Centralized County of Safety, he was head of the state's Revolutionary War government. In addition, there was Richard Caswell. Richard Caswell was born in 1729 and died in 1789. He was an American politician and a lawyer who served as the 1st and 5th governor of North Carolina. And while he was born in Maryland, when he passed away at only 60, he was buried in Fayetteville, North Carolina. While there were definitely earlier resolves, like that of the Mecklenburg or Tryon resolves, most resolves wrote of upset, and while standing for colonial rights, left room for resolve and pushed for solidarity with Britain. No one previously had mentioned total independence. Halifax was the first place where the term independency was used in a resolve. In addition, while the Mecklenburg and Tryon resolves had been for their county, the Halifax resolve spoke for all North Carolinians. The men at the Halifax resolve knew that this deed of signing this document was high treason, and as a result, they could have been hung, drawn and quartered, beheaded, or shot, or at the very least, their lands taken and wealth gone, leaving them and their families devastated and impoverished. In the months that followed, North Carolina established a new form of government, a new state government, adopted its constitution, and appointed leadership to guide the new state. The Halifax Resolve also influenced other colonies to consider united action in the growing movement towards independence. Today, Halifax remains known for its deep connection to American history through exhibits, reenactments, and commemorative items such as coins and quill-shaped pins. An annual commemoration, such as Halifax Day, honors the event of April 12, 1776, a date that the North Carolina flag also bears. Visitors are reminded of the town's lasting legacy. Halifax stands as more than just a historical site. It's a place where American political thought, struggle, and transformation can still be experienced today.